we got dispatched to a call. And when we pulled up to this address that we knew all too well, it wasn't for an inmate or someone in custody. It was for an officer. They directed us to the locker room where he was laying face down, cool, pale, and diaphoretic, having a difficult time breathing. And when we found him, he was in critical condition. Our hearts were racing, and not just our hearts were racing, but also his co-workers, our colleagues, our brothers in arms, the fellow members of service, the police officers. This was in the Bronx. It's an area where there's a lot of camaraderie. It's an area where we stick for each other. We get each other's back. There's a brotherhood, an unspoken brotherhood amongst first responders within busy area. It's kind of like you're at war together. And when we found him in the locker room, put him on the monitor immediately. My partner got the IV, and we started directing our paramedic student on what to do. We put him on a non-rebreather. We started helping him immediately, all while packaging and transporting this patient and getting him ready to go to the nearest hospital. As we packaged him, put him on the electrodes. We put him on the electrodes, and after the electrode, the IV was established, and we found out that he had a low blood pressure, and then he had a low blood sugar level, and then we gave him the dextrose, and we were speeding up. Like literally our minds were racing on this scene because his police officers, all of them had guns, and all of them were surrounding us, asking us to help because they felt helpless. Their brother in arms was unable to be helped by them. They relied on us, and the pressure was on. But guess what? We were like ducks. And how are ducks? On the surface of the water, they're super duper calm. But under the water, their feet are paddling like crazy. You don't see how that's pretty much what happens with paramedics. That's what happens with people that work in high stress occupations, where they may look like they're calm, but in reality their mind is racing. And that's exactly what was happening to us. So what did we do? We put them on oxygen, 15 liters per minute. We put them on a non-rebreather. We did everything we could. We put him on the stair chair and rushed him into the ambulance. Once we stepped outside, I looked down the block and I realized that the entire street was closed off for us. The entire way to the hospital, it looked like every street corner had a police car or a fire truck blocking off all traffic. And as soon as we put him on the ambulance, it was me and my partner. We had no backup. There was no time for backup. We had to continue moving, and I was left with the ultimatum, because at the end of the day, we had to do what's best for the patient, but also take care of ourselves. And we could not have delegated the responsibility of having the ambulance driven by one of these folks to the hospital, because the scene was so tense. It was almost like a war zone type of thing, where everybody, the emotions were very high, and we could not have delegated the responsibility of driving this ambulance to a fellow police officer. They're not used to driving vehicles that big. They're not used to driving their own partner to the hospital. So what did I do? As me and my partner Vinny were doing patient care in the back of the ambulance, he's a paramedic, I'm a paramedic. Remember, we had a paramedic student. His name was John. And John was actually my partner when I used to work interfacility transports. There's two sides of EMS. There's interfacility transports and there's 911. We were working 911 and he was trying to become a paramedic. So I went ahead and threw the keys at him. You drive to the hospital, John. It's on you. And then John did a great job. Every single street was blocked off. He drove all the way to the nearest hospital, lights and sirens. And on the way up the hill to this hospital, all we saw was blue. It was a sea of blue. So many cop cars you couldn't count. It was dozens and dozens of cop cars, dozens and dozens of fire department units. It was like a first responder type of, I don't even know how to explain. It was just basically a sea of first responders trying to find out what's happening to their brother in arms. There's a camaraderie within the neighborhood that we look out for each other. When one of us is hurting, all of us are hurting. And upon arrival to the hospital, we gave a notification, and once we got there, everyone that was there was expecting us. Not just the first responders from the neighborhood who found out what was going on and they rushed over there to figure out how they can help, to find out what was happening. Also, the nurses and the doctors from the notification were expecting us. The entire hospital was expecting this police officer who was in our care. We rushed them into the hospital. We transferred the care to the ER, and we left them with the ER. I was in charge of doing the paperwork. My partner Vinny was in charge of restocking the ambulance and restocking all the equipment that we use, and John was in charge of helping him do that. And as I was writing everything down, I took my time. I went ahead and wrote down how we found them, what we did, and the ultimate outcome, which was less than favorable for this person. And when I stepped out the hospital, it hit me. Seeing all those police cars, all those fire trucks, it reminded me of when my brother was a prisoner of war who was killed in action. Staff Sergeant Alex Ramon Jimenez was a POW KIA in Baghdad, Iraq. Look it up. He was my brother. And the camaraderie that his brothers in arms had for him overseas is the same camaraderie that I saw amongst first responders. That's one of the reasons why I'm such a proud paramedic, because of the way we stick for each other. And that pain that lives in you. First responders have PTSD as well, just like the soldiers. We have PTSD depending on what type of neighborhood you work in. Calls like this, you will never forget. I will never forget. But when I saw everyone standing shoulder to shoulder, when I saw these people standing around just waiting in angst, trying to figure out what happened to our brother, I noticed that we're never really alone. There's people who think like you. There's people who have the same morals as you, and they're there to support you. And most importantly, we have God. Even though on that day we lost a public servant, a wife lost a husband, kids lost their father, the community lost a leader, and everyone knew it. And at the end of the call, of course, the fire department of New York's fire chief showed up to the scene. He was in the neighborhood, heard what happened, asked us questions. He also wanted to know what was going on. He gave us respect for a job well done. He even wanted to go through my paperwork to figure out what I wrote, because this was a very high profile assignment. And we were suggested by the chief, hey, this was a tough one, bro. Go out of service, go home. There's a lot of things going through your mind right now, and go ahead and take a break. Take the rest of the day off. And what did I decide on doing? We went out of service. We restocked the ambulance. I was chain smoking cigarettes, and we went back in service. I was stressed out, reminiscing on the time that they kidnapped my brother, reminiscing on what happened to him with the infantry of the army. But at the end of the day, we faced it head on, and we went back in service. But one thing I want to share with you is we faced it head on, but we were pouring from an empty cup because we were hurting. Yeah, we was in service, but the smoking, the cigarettes, the drinking, the alcohol, none of that stuff really helped us. None of that stuff made it better, actually made it worse. And that's why I'm just so grateful to be able to share this story with you today. To have a fellow brother in your arms, someone that you're there to take care of. You're the caregiver. Your life or their life depends on whether or not you perform. And even if you perform at the best you could perform, they still pass. If that's the case, it's hard to deal with. It's something that life goes on type of thing. You try your best, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make it any easier. And that's where the PTSD comes from those type of calls. And I'll be real with you. I try to cure the pain with cigarettes, with Newports, menthols. I try to cure the pain with alcohol and a bunch of other stuff, and none of it worked. It did not work. So if you're watching this, whether you're a nurse, a doctor, or someone who takes care of somebody else and you love them, and this assignment, this story that I went through resonates with you, don't bottle it up. Try not to make it worse. I know there's an allure to go ahead and drink and smoke and eat pastries and do all these things, use the websites. Please do not make it worse. Don't try to numb the pain with things that will break you down. You can numb the pain with things that will build you up. Talk to someone. Go out for a walk. Exercise. Drink a lot of water. Comment to this video. I'll interact with you. Because being strong doesn't mean that you have to be silent. Working as a paramedic, this job, it changes you. You treat patients, but these patients are fathers, they're husbands, they have a job, they have people that love them, they're mentors, they're change agents, and within their community, these people that we're helping have a story before you met them. And as a matter of fact, one day, that person on the stretcher may be you. So stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Train hard. Be physically and mentally able to do the job. And when the time comes, be calm. Just like the duck analogy that I mentioned. Be the one who shows up. Be an EMT's EMT. Be a paramedic's medic. Be the paramedic or be the EMT that other paramedics want to show up at the door in case that they need them. So if this story connected with you, then click on this video where I tell you another story of a different patient that I had that was thrown off the roof. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you had a similar call. Let me know if you don't know what to do if that call arises. And I'll teach you and I'll make you another video explain to you what's the best way to handle these situations. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. So comment down below and I'll see you guys on the next one. Check out this video too. Peace.